Hello and welcome to my channel on human design. Today we're going to be looking at one of those lines to really enjoy. And strangely enough, it's the 47th gate. Now the 47th gate is in the ajna. It is that gate of oppression. It is that gate of trying to make sense of what has happened in the past. What did it all mean? So it's a funny one to say, well, this is a line to enjoy. In fact, we looked at it in the sixth line, in the 47.6 of futility, not long ago, as one of those lines that suck. So how come that the 47.5, which is what we're going to be looking at, how come that's a gate to enjoy? What does it mean? Before we go into what it means, my name is Richard Beaumont. I've been doing human design for more than 25 years. And I've been teaching and training analysts for 20 of those years. Okay, let's look at this 47. First of all, we see that the 47.5 is a harmony to the 47.2, which is a line of really being ambitious and mentally heavy. And like all second lines, they just want to be in their bubble. You know, they want to be in their bubble. They want to be in their world. They want to be safe in that world, you know, away from all the life pressures that are out there. So they're busy. They're busy thinking about how things make sense and how they can get on in their life, how they can rise up the line of ambition. But here, when we come to the 47.5, we come to one of those lines where you go, what? And it's one of those lines that's called the saint. Not only that, it's one of those very few lines out of all the 384 lines. It's one of those lines that is just exalted. There is no detriment to this. It is purely seen in an exalted way. The saint. So it's a mental gate. It's a gate that understands in terms of its own life what it is to be human. I mean, just think about the abstract path. Just think about the weight of what it is to be in the body, to be in the life, to have to survive and deal with all the things that come from the outside and to deal with all the people and to try and find your way in all that. It ain't easy. It's not easy. And the fifth line understands that. I remember there was a time when I'd taken over Human Design UK, and I was talking to Ra about the things that I had to do, and I was trying to make sense of the intensity of some of the knowledge that he'd given me. And he just looks at me and he goes, Richard, just live your life. Just live your life. One of the things that helps with mental oppression is to ignore it, is to come back into the body. If I'm working on an intense piece of mental work, I make sure that I have periods where I go away from it, where I go into the garden, where I go into moving the body, where I go into the abstract process in terms of energetically breathing and moving and clearing and getting certain things out of the way and feeling good about that. You know, coming back to what it is to feel good. Yeah, I have a fixed spleen. And for those of you who don't, you know this. You can get stuck. You can get stuck in the pain. You can get stuck in feeling vulnerable or whatever it may be. Move the body. Come back to the body. Follow the strategy and authority and see the resistance begin to drop. But don't just sit there mentally oppressed, because that doesn't go anywhere. Making sense of things has its limitations. It's about the life. Never forget that. And in this line, it's typical of the fifth line. It's about practicality. It's about understanding that life has its crisis, that life has its difficulties, and we all have to go through them one way and another. We know that the life can be painful. We know that there's change. We know that there's transitoriness. After all, in the abstract circuitry, we have within it the channel of transitoriness, this 36 to 35, this going through the overwhelm and coming out the other side. there is always going to be change. I mean, it's the one thing that never changes is change. There is always going to be change. And so here in mental gate, we have a gate of really thinking about the past, remembering, making sense of what that humanness is. And these are people that really feel the pain of others. I would say that in a way, all fifth lines can connect to the other in a practical way because of that sense of they know what they're going through. And they are here as a projection where people project upon them that they can save them. Well, in this case, these people are people that want to offer themselves to help. They know what it's like. They know what the pain is, and they can see it in the people in front of them. Let's read it. The brown text right at the top says, a restrictive and adverse state as a result of internal weakness or external strength, or both. So you can get lost in all the restrictions, in all the trying to make sense of the madness out there, or not. Or you can just live your life. In the line of the saint, there's a blue line, which means that it's an ongoing, lifelong process. There's a developmental side to this. This position has special significance, and there is no planet in detriment. The gift in times of oppression to maintain without hypocrisy a harmonic relationship with one's oppressors, while providing aid and succor to the oppressed. Realization at its most exalted. Acceptance of the weight of the abstract process and the grace that naturally follows. And there is no polarity. Accepting that life is heavy and being able to see in one's oppressors that they also have the pain. You know, the soldiers and the police that are there to keep us in order when things are going wrong. They don't particularly want to be there. You know, they've got to play their role in their job, and they've been told what to do. And it's these people that can go up to them and see that, can see that they're just doing their job. They're just trying to feed their families. They're just trying to be in the world in some way that they can be satisfied in it. They can make their way in the world in the way that they do. And they can also provide succor to those who are oppressed, to those where they can't get through it, understanding, again, that the world is not an easy place to live, that people can't easily deal with change sometimes, that people hold on, that there are things that are unresolved in the past that we may never get to. I remember Woody Allen saying he's been in therapy for, I don't know, decades and decades. It goes on and on and on. You can unpick this and unpick that, and, oh, this is because of that, and, you know, I had this problem over there, and it goes on and on. Well, the 47.5 says, let's just get on with it. You know, it is heavy, and we do the best that we can do. And this is why it's called the saint. There is a saintly side to these people in the sense that they can understand what it's like to be in the world, and that you are in the world and they are in the world. So let's do our best. I remember going to see someone whose husband had just died. You know, and I went up there in my 1-3 way, and, you know, I just said, you know, I'm so sorry, and I did the best that I could do with them. I made contact with them. I gave them a hug. And then along comes my friend who's a fifth line, and with one look and with one statement, she just opens up, and both of them cry together. To be in that, to understand there's no getting through it. One just has to live through it, and bit by bit. But right now it's painful. But right now it's painful. I can't remember exactly what she said, but I remember going, wow, that's so beautiful. The 47.5 has this ability to see both sides. In the end, we're talking about a gate that is about perspectives, to get a perspective on the past, to get a perspective on this life, and to understand that everyone is trying to get through it, the weight of the abstract process. To be able to supply with words and with actions that will benefit those that are in pain, that will benefit the oppressed. And at some level or another, we are all oppressed by this busy mind and its craziness and its wanting this and that and the other. So it's a beautiful line. There is no planet in detriment. It is purely exalted. And it is one of those lines to really enjoy and also to reflect upon your own life, where you've got caught in the confusion, where you're trying to get through the oppression, and to know that there is a way. It's simply to deal with it. It's simply to see the other person's point of view as well. And if more of us were to reflect upon that, there would be a lot less conflict. There would be a lot less confusion, because at the end, you can make sense of the past mentally, but that's not really the point. The point is to be in the life. The point is to love the life. And the point is to be loving in the life. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please like and subscribe and share. If you want to know more about your own chart, there is a free chart service that I offer on my website. You can download not only the chart, but a free report. I think it's about 50 pages. If you want to go further, you can get the advanced report, which is about 130 pages. To know oneself is to come to terms with accepting who one is. And from that, a lot of depression, a lot of that weight of thinking becomes irrelevant. Okay, so I will see you again very soon with something completely different. Bye for now.